All right, welcome to Isobuddies Productions weekly live stream of awesome. It's me, and it looks like it's just me and DJ Space Cat this week. I'll learn how to point to whatever I'm pointing at eventually, at some point. So I'll save this for a minute. Our guest tonight is Cheyenne Boots Houghton from. He's giving me a rock and roll thumb up right now. From Pod Solo. So he is literally the first person I ever bought Isopods from on eBay back when I was new. So I got clowns from him. I got a really good deal on clowns from him. And of course, he threw in a bunch of extras, like extra clowns. So I think there were like 5 or 6 extra on the 20 that I bought. So we hit it off, and I think we've become friends. So, which is weird to say off somebody from eBay, but it's happened. And he's here today to join us and talk about his enclosures. Nat isn't here yet. I don't know if she's going to be here, but she had some questions that were inspiring to me. So I'm going to try to put those through. We're going to try to go through one of Pod Solo's setups, and hopefully a couple of his really cool isopods he'll have to show us, because I've noticed he's gotten in some cool stuff lately. So maybe some classics. So anyway, let's bring him on without further ado. Mr. Pod Solo himself, the rock. Yes, it matches. Now you get where the portrait's from. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Welcome to the show, Rock and Rolla.
What's cracking, my friend?
The Pod Solo Rock and Rolla. So we're gonna keep this one short to an hour, under 2 hours.
How's my beard look, bro?
It looks good. It looks you get some grit in there, so you definitely know you have a kid.
Yeah, right?
An adorable kid, by the way. Someday we'll have them kids on. Next week we're gonna have a kid on as a guest. So Ophi Spider-Verse is gonna be here with us. Her and her dad for Father's Day. And the 21st is my 1-year podiversary.
Oh wow. Wow. And that was
it's been a year since I ordered. Since I started keeping wild caught.
There we go.
Nice. Yeah, and now I'm actually going to be releasing them this week. I'm going to be releasing like 1,000 of the
because we all have at least 1,000 Vulgare.
Yeah, I'm going to be releasing my Vulgare. I'm keeping my high yellows
Nice.
to see what I can do with those, but everybody else got to go in my garden and make it beautiful. So I'm hoping you have more to show us than a gallon of Fanta.
Shit.
That's amazing. Does it actually have orange slices in it, or is that ice cubes?
No, that's ice cubes, because I just got it from the store and it was warm, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna pour a big ass orange soda.
And you did. That's all the swears we can say.
Indeed. Made it
That's
happen.
all the swears we can say today, because we have kids that watch this show now.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna try Mountain Dew Baja Flash. It's pina colada, first time, and then I'll get on with the show. This is our unsponsor. Unless Mountain Dew wants to throw some money at us,
then colada, but it's not always.
Oh, you can smell the fake coconut right away. Like as soon as it went, I was like, "Oh, all right, here we go."
Like fume.
Right? Let's get this first honest impression. It already, like, the air of it tastes weird. It's weird. It's weird. I never had coconut soda.
Oh, you know what? I think Fanta, actually makes a pineapple soda. And it's
Crush does.
I think it's Fanta.
Crush does for sure.
Oh, Crush does? Okay.
Yeah, and it's awesome.
It's pretty stinking good. Yeah.
When Mountain Dew made their Blue Lightning, there was like a contest. They had 3 flavors out, and my wife and I just drank as much of it as possible to get us to win, and it did. And now we can't touch it. Like, it makes me sick. So I drank too much.
Right. I go through phases myself. Like 3 months ago, it was all about the root beer. This would be root beer. But like right now, the orange is totally my crush right now, dude.
You got to get the good root beer. Do you guys have Spreckers out by you?
No.
You got to get Spreckers. It's the best. It's just in bottles in your grocers. So check it out. It's got like a Griffin.
Yeah, we don't have it out here that I'm aware of.
Oh, I'll have to send you a 6-pack. Anyway,
that would be.
We're already way off topic.
Yeah,
so
that'd be really rad.
let's start out with a couple of questions. So I'm going to start with the basic ones, right?
Shoot.
So what
Shoot.
first got you into isopods, my friend?
Well, I've been into, herb stuff for 30 years. I mean, most of my life I've been keeping lizards and snakes and frogs and fish also. So when I heard about doing the bioactive thing, I kind of was like, that sounds interesting, because I actually had a previous, still kind of do a little bit. I still have a few clients, but do aquarium maintenance as well. And like saltwater aquariums have really fascinated me over
Absolutely.
the years. For the diversity of different, organisms that you would get, like, okay, I'm having a problem with this. What eats that? Or, hey, I'm having a problem with this. What chemical, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, what's off balance to make that happen, or, So when
I would go to my friends that had saltwater tanks, they would we got them into refugiums. And when I would go visit, I wouldn't care about their tank. I just wanted to watch the refugium forever.
Crazy.
There's so much stuff going on in there.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that was kind of, that kind of got me my wheels turning when I started hearing about the bioactive thing. So got interested with that, and then of course I saw a few spindy bugs on the internet and was like, I think I'll try the stuff out of my yard first, like everybody.
Yeah.
So I, started culturing stuff just out of my yard, scabers and vulgare and things of that nature. And
well, that's cool. You guys have scabers.
Yeah, and then we also have like Aniscus cisalis and a couple of different isopods around here. But yeah, so I started culturing those and doing those with my herps, and doing bioactive with that, and got a hold of some springtails and then some dwarf whites, and then I started getting into other stuff.
The dwarf white's the bane.
Dwarf
whites are the bane of the hobby.
Well, and it's funny too, because my very first like real purchased isopod was powder oranges. They were mislabeled. They were orange lavis. They started getting huge, and I'm like, I've never seen powder orange like this before with any of my friends, And then figured it out that it was mislabeled. So it was
that's a species I never got, and I love the orange ones, and they're not expensive at all.
Orange lavis, yeah,
and they get a good size, like
real purchase one. So
I think lavis, my favorite is milkbacks. So
yeah, they're pretty cool.
I love my milkbacks just for the diversity of the color and the patterning.
Yeah. Oh
yeah. Next question we have that comes up is so is there a particular hobbyist that got you really into it, like hip deep into isopods, or was it just progressed from bioactivity?
Like as in like a YouTuber person or anything like that?
YouTuber, somebody with a blog, somebody with articles, like
not anybody really in particular, honestly. Like, for the most part around here, there really wasn't, anybody else really doing it. I did end up finding a friend later on Craigslist that is now my friend, which I ended up inheriting like almost his whole collection at one point later on in that.
Gosh.
And
I'm waiting to meet a friend like that. I haven't met a friend like
that. Well, it was inherited with a fee.
With a fee.
There was a rehoming fee.
Was there a steep discount though? That's good.
It was a pretty good discount though, for sure. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, really, I watched, the Aquarium Max videos and Wally and, a lot of different people online. Let's see, Reptiliatus. I think Reptiliatus was probably the videos I watched the most, because he had, it seemed like at the time, the biggest collection. See 45 different species of, isopods, and I'd sit there for like an hour and a half watching it. And it's funny because he'd always be like, at the beginning of his videos, be like, this is like super boring, just so you're aware. If there's a species you want to skip to, there's time slots down below. And I'd always watch it, crush it all the way through, but I just thought that was funny. So that's kind of something, I guess, for me, like when I started doing my little pot of the week videos and stuff on YouTube with my YouTube channel. Like, I kind of learned a little bit from the Reptiliatus thing, as you know, he kind of went balls out with all of them, you know, all in one big video. And I was like, you know, maybe I should just like do a little quick focus on one species at a time, so it's easy to watch. You know, I upload a video, people can see, oh, it's 4 minutes long. I can probably handle 4 minutes of an isopod, you know. So that was kind of my thought process behind doing my pod of the week and all that business.
I like that a lot, and I like that you're updating with your new facility. Are you there now? Are you in the facility now?
No, I'm in my dining room area where I usually shoot my pod of the week videos.
Nice. They're well edited.
I wanted to do it out in the facility, but my internet's like El Terrible out there, so I was not too keen on like fighting the iPad. So here we
are. That's fair. Yeah, you don't want to fight it. At some point, I'll probably get booted out because my internet stutters. So I'm working on getting a hard line right to the computer, but so far it's not working out as good as I want it to. So that said, how many species do you currently have, roughly? Or do you know?
I think I'm still at as of I got my cappuccinos here a couple weeks back, and that made 106 species / morphs.
Wow.
Apparently.
106. The cappuccinos are probably my favorite cubaris.
Oh, dude. Like, I was always like, oh yeah, they're cool, and then like I got them, and I lost my mind. You can totally tell in my unboxing video, in my speeded up helium voice. I'm like,
yeah,
that's stupid cute. They really are. They're way cuter in person than they are on a picture or whatever. They're ridiculously cute.
So we're gonna post a link to your page, and if somebody hasn't watched your videos, they need to watch that one. But watch it 2 times, and the second time, mute it and watch it with the closed captioning. And it goes so fast, it's hilarious. It makes it so much better.
Nice.
Because the speeded up voice is like, and it's just, it can't keep up. So for the closed captioning.
That's another thing too with like my videos. Okay, when I do the unboxing videos, like I've watched so many unboxing videos, and like they're long and can get boring. I mean, they're cool. Everybody likes watching them and stuff. That's why I like to engage with people and show them what I got going on. But I like doing the speed up. It's funny. It makes a 10-minute video 6 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got that like hard rock intro and
yeah. That's actually my band.
Yeah, right. What kind of band is it? Is hard rock?
Metal, bro.
My bad.
Bro.
I couldn't fit your hands in once I got that giant face on the paper.
I know, you're all, hey man, you that? And I'm like, yeah.
See, and I couldn't get good shots of your hand tats. I just couldn't do it.
Oh man.
I just couldn't do it. So I like what I wound up with. It feels very Warner Brothers meets WWE. I don't know. So that said, you said you just got a new facility. Tell us a little bit about that. That you're not doing the pods out of your house anymore, really?
Well, currently still in a little bit until I get things going. I'm kind of letting things air out. I did a lot of painting, so the last thing I want to do is move everything out there and die, because there's horrible paint fumes. You know what I mean? So, like, hey, I just got a new facility. I killed everything.
Right? I killed everything. Now it's empty again.
Yeah. Hey, you want a she shed, lady? But yeah, no, it was my shop my 16 by 20 shop that I kind of had for my wood shop, my auto shop, my old workout equipment, my shed / everything. Everything was like floor to ceiling with just crap in there. And I'm like, you know what? I need space. I need space to do my stuff. So I went just crazy, and like 4 trips to the dump later, I had a space.
Man, it looks in the previews, whatever the little snippets I saw, it looks kind of bare bones, but it looks really like you've got some. I
Yeah,
wasn't thinking what 16 by 20 meant, but that's a good size space.
yeah, for sure. Like right now, like I have everything crammed into a 10 by 10 extra room in my house, and it's like aisleways, between
Oh my God.
the shelves.
Yeah, and for a guy like your size, you're about my size, I think. So mine is jammed up against my water heater, and I have a like an old office chair in there, and it's like just so I can spin.
So you're 6'6" and like 350.
Oh, I guess you're bigger than me. So
I'm totally kidding.
oh, I'm 6'4" and like 275. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
I'm 5'9" and like 200.
Oh. Never mind, you're a little guy. So
Little guy.
you're a little guy. You got to bulk up, bro. You got to hit more quarter pounders.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that Nat came up with, well, can we see one of your setups? Can you give us a rundown on your particular setups? Because I know you do something I've never seen is you include live moss in each of your setups.
Yeah, most of them I include live moss. There's definitely a couple of my species that, they just annihilate it as soon as so like I kind of learned, hey, maybe they like to eat it, but maybe it's not really lasting in there. So there's a few that I don't do it in, but yeah, I like to incorporate live mosses in if I can. Some of the species really enjoy it. I had species that when I first started doing it that wasn't doing anything for me. Like, hey, I've had you for 6 months and you're just not doing anything. As soon as I drop live moss in there, they're like, hey, a live moist spot, and they'd go and either tunnel under it and, drop off babies or in amongst it or whatever. So it's just something that, kind of caught my fancy when it started working out. So I just keep on going with it.
So you propagate your own moss? You've got your own?
I collect it at different local areas and then go through a process of doing the best I can, basically, to make it pest free.
Yeah, you've really got to kind of hope for the best on that because there's no way to. Well, I would use basically dry ice just because I like to use dry ice. For those of you that don't know, if you want to sanitize something from outside, one of the cool science ways you can do it is I just set up a cardboard box and then I put a bowl that's bigger than the cardboard box. I put my thing that I want to sanitize in a container underneath and then drop dry ice in there and pour hot water over that, usually several times. So then that just releases carbon dioxide and just fills that box with carbon dioxide for like 5-10 minutes. And that murders everything except the plants. Yeah. So, and it's fun. Playing with dry ice is totally fun.
Yeah, usually what I do, I submerge the moss under water for 24 to 48 hours. And, and that, for the most part, kills off most everything. And then I keep it in a tote and kind of like micromanage it for the next couple weeks and make sure that I don't see anything moving in there basically before I release it. Quarantine, basically.
Yeah, that's really cool. Because I like that. I find all the time where I harvest stuff is sticks and branches or whatever with lichen and moss growing on it. But it's like, how do you really sanitize that? But I guess soaking it underwater would be fine.
Yeah. Well, with the lichen, I just bake it. To be honest, I just bake it. And, yeah, 225, 250, so around there for like 45 minutes to half, to an hour or so. And because most of the isopods like the lichen quite a bit. So like as soon as you put it in there, they start crushing it anyway. So trying to keep it alive. Pretty much, there's no reason to try to keep it alive because they're just going to eat it anyway. So you bake it.
Okay. Darth Gaber was talking about potassium permanganate. Is that Darth, is that for growing it or killing things off on it safely? I never know what people mean. The comments go by so quick. I'm like, oh, yeah, hi.
So we're going to have to go on a little walkabout because apparently my battery's about ready to go dead. My daughter was on the iPad when I got home.
That is a common issue with our show, I'll be honest. We did a live stream from on location at somebody's house, and his phone died halfway through. So we went from 2 cameras to 1, and it was like my Fire tablet.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually addictive. I'm going to be drinking the crap out of this for like the next month.
All right, I got to figure out.
So hopefully it sticks around. It is actually, I have to say, it's kind of delicious.
Nice. All right.
If you like something that vaguely tastes like pina colada, this is the way to go, folks.
Hey,
and if you're working at Mountain Dew, call me. I've got 83 viewers. I'm an influencer. By the way, our last 4 subscribers, thank you so much for pushing us over that 80 sub mark.
All right, I might lose you. I'm going to go into the shop, the facility. That's
okay.
what I'm looking for.
Is this your actual facility? Is this it?
Cha-cha-cha!
So it is a she shed. I was totally right. I love those shelves. They're so cheap and so functional.
Oh, for sure. I'm trying to find me an extension cord so I can go back to sitting where I was sitting.
Okay, fair. Get that better internet. You got to run that hard line all the way through the house. Drill a hole in the wall all the way
Well,
outside.
hey, at least it worked out there in the she shed.
Now, is it climate controlled in there? Because, I mean, obviously...
Yeah, I put an AC in there, and then I have a ventilation fan pulling fresh air from outside, and I have a vent in the ceiling in order to exhaust warm air. So I'll be able to set everything to a thermostat, and because it actually got pretty stinking hot in there when it was just the shop, because it gets like sun on it like all day.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories of people that their stuff got too warm.
So the AC was like an absolute must before I could even get jamming. That was like number one first thing before I even started painting. I'm like, gotta get an AC if I'm gonna be working in here.
Oh, we had another question too that I missed. I'm gonna address these questions while you are plugging that in.
Okay, sounds good, man.
So Darth Scaber, we're looking for your answer on this. Like, is potassium permanganate? I hope I'm saying that even close to right. I know I got the potassium. Is that for killing off hitchhikers, or is that for propagating the moss? That's my question to you. Ben's Bugs wanted to know what we think of Porcellio Bolivare. I love them. They're one of my holy grail isopods. I don't have them
Bolivare!
Yeah, dude, they are awesome. I just love how prehistoric they look.
I have some sitting right here.
Oh, thank God. All right. This will be like the 3rd time they've been on the show, but I will have them on all the time. I'm still torn between them and Expansus Orange. There's not very much difference, honestly, between Expansus and Expansus Orange. I don't think. I'd have to see them side by side in person.
Yeah, side by side, it's just like a slightly different hue, to be honest. But recently, I did see some Expansus Orange that were like legit orange, like through and through, like a Aniscus maple, that kind of like that orange.
Wow, that's a deep orange.
Yeah, I just seen those, and I'm like, would say what?
Nice.
All right.
Well, let's see those Bolivare while they're hot on everyone's mind here.
Well, I got all sorts of pods here. We want to just rifle through them real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Everybody likes the bugs, and usually we don't get to them till like the last half hour.
Bugs. It's the bugs.
They're here for the bugs, the lizards, the snakes, whatever we get.
And my beard.
The possum. I mean, that's 2 beards in a row. We had Chris Biggs on last week.
Oh, yeah.
His beard is pretty epic, too. He's a rock and roller. I don't know if you know, like, you guys could start an isopod-based band.
Nice.
He used to tour and stuff. Like, he's no joke.
Yeah, we were actually signed. to a Canadian label for a little bit, but they did absolutely nothing for us.
He's a Canadian rocker, so I don't know.
That's crazy.
That's like Christian rock, right? Is that Christian rock up there?
I have no idea.
Because they're so nice. That is by far one of my favorite isopods right there.
Oh yeah, they're my favorite for sure. I'd say Flavo Marginatus is probably my second favorite. See if I can get my shirt to cooperate here. Okay, turn.
Kinda.
There we go.
There you go. I got all the Flavo, yo. Oh my god. That's awful and brilliant at the same time. I used to call him Flavor Mangiotis is what I call it because I just thought it was funny. Okay, Darth Skaber finally answered the question while you're getting the next one out. He says, I dip the moss to sterilize it, then rinse it a couple times. It's less harsh than a bleach soak and will take care of most hitchhikers and any diseases. That's awesome. I've heard of salt too, like a saltwater soak, but I imagine that and bleach would be kind of overkill. All right, so then the potassium doesn't hurt the isopods, or does it just rinse out? I don't know. That's something to look into. We're going to post that as well. If I can find a pen, we're going to post that up. Survival pen, folks. Let me tell you. I don't know exactly what everything does, but you could really mess somebody up with this thing.
So I'm trying to find my new line here, one that's really pronounced enough that you can actually see it.
Okay.
But I think you've already heard about them. It's
yeah, but everything is in and out of this old man brain, so
right.
Unless it's in front of me, don't turn 45.
I have some officinalis that popped up with spikes.
Oh yeah, you were saying.
Yeah. So
they're like bumpy, right? They're kind of bumpy.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one that's really pronounced so you can see, hopefully on the camera.
Your camera's coming in pretty good, so the Bolivare were nice and crisp. Delicious. Oh, Ben says he loves your shirts.
Nice. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Come on, man.
I really need to get some Orange Crush. That's
They are delicious.
My friends who aren't into isopods still want me to eat one on camera. And every bug that I have, they're like, eat it. Tell us what it tastes like.
Oh, man. I'm having trouble trying to find a wickedly pronounced one.
That's all right.
So you can actually see it on camera. Let's see. This guy's not really. We're going to have to come back to that.
All right.
I don't want to waste the world's time.
Well, I mean, we're literally, it's like 5 people, so, including us. Like, that's my viewership. I'm glad Ben is here, but he's probably here for you.
Hey, Ben.
Tonight we're competing with Wally Kern. His live stream is pretty much at the same time. So
really nice.
We'll see what happens.
Well, while we're doing stuff, here's some more of my faves. There's the regular expansive.
Those guys are monsters.
Yeah, dude, these guys get huge.
I can't get over my hoffs.
Oh, dude, and like I swear, every time, like I think I find my biggest hoff, and I'm like, oh, there's another one that's even bigger.
You're just like, what's up, dude? That guy's got nothing on me.
It's like, bro, I've had this like culture going for over a year now, but they just keep getting bigger.
And they're so chill. Like if you get one out on your hand, it just sits there.
I think it's because I'm giving them the orange soda.
They've all got diabetes.
Yeah.
Ching was giving his like caffeine or something or sugar.
What?
He was giving him sugar as a test run to see. And he said he thought they got spazzier. He thought they got really spazzy. So he doesn't have any proof, but it was a fun little thing for him to do. I have given mine Himalayan pink sea salt.
I got one
because they're known to
little lone Jupiter hanging out on the log.
Oh, look at him.
I have no idea
Your
where the
camera's
rest
working
of them
so
are.
good.
Yeah, I don't know where the heck the rest of them are. Maybe they're like popping babies, dude. That'd be cool.
Ah, fingers crossed. That's a cash cow.
Right? Here's another cash cow. If I can get some of these guys on camera.
So Cheyenne is showing his isopods to us right now for about as long as he does in his 4-minute videos. So
pretty much. Hey, there we go. White duckies.
Now put your thumb next to that. I want to see, like, it looks big right now, but is it really that big?
I'll put my horribly stained finger next to it. There we go.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so they're about the same size as like Panda Kings, and
no, well, this is a fairly smaller guy here, actually.
really
Find a bigger dude.
My Panda Kings are minuscule. They are tiny.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are, I mean, they're about the size of, let's see if I can get it in camera here. They're about the size of like a regular ducky.
Okay.
So a little bit bigger than a Panda King.
That is decent sized. All right. That's what kind of kept me out of Cubaris, is I got Pak Chongs and Pandas, and they're like tiny. And then Scott sent me some Duckies.
Oh, he's like, oh, what's going on, buddy?
He's about to jump right off your finger.
Yeah. What's going on, little friends?
He's going to be like, roll for freedom.
Yeah, no, he doesn't want to get off me. Come on, man.
I've seen my Duckies twice since I got them like 3 months ago.
That's pretty much how it goes, dude.
Yeah. They're in I have them in this really cool jar setup that I thought would kind of force them to burrow close to the glass, but no dice.
Yeah, it's kind of like with a lot of the Cubaris, the species that don't produce large broods.
Yeah,
like, they like disappear, and then it's like 3 months, 4 months later, you're like, oh, I see you. 6 months later, oh, there's some more in there. Like it takes quite a while. It's like the luck of the draw numbers once they start actually populating. Like, hey, there's probably actually 100 of them in there, but I can see 10. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like roaches. Like, you see 3, but you have 5,000.
Yeah, right? yeah.
But yeah, I got really lucky in my Panda Kings. Probably a dozen of them that I got out of the 40 were sent to me pregnant.
Oh,
so, nice. I mean, within 2 weeks, I had babies. So there's no way I did anything.
With the Pak Chongs, I lucked out on that. I have so many Pak Chongs.
That's one of my favorites that I have, because I love that orange little tail lights that they have.
So these are some newer dudes here. These are the Porcelia ornatus Witches Brew.
Witches Brew. I haven't heard of that yet.
Yeah, they're kind of new on the scene. My buddy Derek at the Roly Poly Rodeo hooked me up with these in a trade, and so far they're doing pretty well. I've had them a few weeks, and I'm already getting Mankai. So,
are they kind of like
what's that?
Coloration kind of like a magic potion?
Kinda-ish. I mean, pretty much the same colorations. I mean, somewhat translucent looking and yellow kind of hues in there. I think that they're a morph off of the high yellow, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, the cappuccinos. Hopefully I can wrestle one of these dudes out.
Yes. Now, this is my thing, like, as a Christian churchgoer, which you wouldn't know looking at my page, my Facebook page. I love that they have the cross on their back. And so I don't think it was cappuccinos at all.
See, at my house, it's an inverted cross.
Hard rock. You were right. It is heavy metal. You were right.
All right.
Woo! Look at those guys. Oh.
And they're so stupid cute. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. He's moving. He's moving, and he's so cute. Oh my God, he's stupid cute.
They are awesome. That's exactly how you sounded in your video. Now, those cappuccinos, for those of you that don't know at home, they are prohibitively expensive.
Oh, they're like pushing $5 for most people off the street.
For what is that, for a 10 count?
For like a 6 count, they're
holy crap,
between $400 and $500 most of the time. I got a decent deal on them, but yeah,
Wow.
they're up there.
Are they breeding yet for you or not?
No, they're in
No.
the I'm scared phase, which means
Okay.
I'm
right.
scared that I made a horrible purchase. Hey,
I mean,
let's spend a lot of money on a couple bugs and see what happens.
that's the dice you roll. Like most of my
dude,
Pachongs died
it's
immediately.
so often.
Yeah.
All right.
And Pachongs aren't even that bad, but I got them in a trade. So I traded like a ton of dairy cows for 40 pandas and 20 Pachongs. And I think I have 5 of the Pachongs left. They died like right away.
Well, that's no good.
Yeah, so also like I'm not blaming myself for it because it's like it happened within 2 weeks.
Oh, all right, so I also do some other stuff.
Oh, here we go.
Up and
Roaches? Oh, no millipedes.
Millipedes. So this, if I can get him to quit being all upset with me. This is a giant American millipede hound. He's trying to burrow into my finger right now. He's like, I want to go back in the dirt.
Mine just sit and eat my cuticles, like to the point that you can feel it is kind of grating. It's like, all right, buddy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Settle down. I don't have those. I have the ivories right now, and I love them.
I actually just got some of those coming my way Monday, actually. Next Monday, rather.
You have a pile of peds coming at you, don't you?
What's that?
Is that you? Who's got like a bunch of species? Is that you?
I have, right now, I have 5 different species at all.
Somebody, maybe it's Josh Kane. Somebody's got like 6 or 7 species coming to them this week.
Oh,
like they ordered them and they're coming in this week. So you just said that, and I was like, okay.
I have on hand. I think I have 5, and now I'll have 6 with the ivories that I got coming next week. But yeah, these guys are pretty cool.
I've never had mine curl up on me. The ivories, they've never like
paint on my finger still.
Yeah.
I finished painting the door today.
To the shop, to the she shed,
to the she shed facility,
the pod shack,
the pod shack. The pod she shed shack house.
That's too much. That's too much.
I went too far.
So since we saw all of that, let's take a break from animals real quick. We'll get to some of Nat's questions.
Okay.
So hers were a little more in depth. So we're kind of piggybacking off of the Chris Biggs episode because he had some really interesting concepts for us. So he goes into trying as much as possible to get your setups and your husbandry as close to nature as possible. So these guys live out in forests. They live in the leaf litter. They live underneath. So when we're changing out their setups, we're taking all of that out, like all of that amazing, like it'd be like taking out your biological filter in your fish tank once every 6 months and just scrubbing it. Basically.
Right.
So you're taking all of that out and replacing it with fresh dirt, which is, I mean, you can't argue the benefits for the pods are great. Right. But his concept was to get just new stuff on top, like put a layer of new stuff, because like the forest floor is all just layers, right? It's just
absolutely
sediment, basically. So is that something you think you could work into your program, or is that anything like what you do now?
So basically what I do with my cultures is I start everything out in a really smaller enclosure to begin with. And then I kind of upgrade my cultures as I go to larger and larger enclosures. So each time I'm dumping in the entire contents. I mean, not literally dumping in, well, the soil, yeah, but you know, I'm putting in everything with new stuff in addition to, and kind of slurring that around to where, yeah, because I mean, there is beneficial bacteria and all that is in their frass and all that stuff, you know. So like I've heard that there's different species that like they have trouble getting mankai to work out until the culture is like more advanced or whatever, been around a while longer, to where there's quite a bit of layer frass, and then the mankai can actually eat off of the frass and get the parent's beneficial bacteria that way.
That's really cool. I didn't realize that was a thing too. Like you get that from
at least that's what some things that I've read. So it's like
reptiles and birds do that too. Some species.
Yeah, they get their chemical,
like a jump start to their to their gut bacteria and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Their beneficial gut.
That's crazy. That's crazy. See, that's new to me. That whole concept is new to me, and I like that. It gets frustrating to me in the hobby that as somebody new, like my 1 year anniversary is coming up still next week. So it's frustrating to me that every person you see on the internet or talk to has not totally different setups, but they have so much. Everybody's got their own deal that they do. And so unless you find somebody you totally trust, which my problem is I have too many people that I totally trust. So I'm like, well, which one of you is not a dummy? Like, I trust you. You wouldn't lie to me, but are you a dummy? Because, like, I don't know. I don't know everybody that well. I've ruled out some dummies. So those people I go, oh, yeah, that's a cool idea. I'm not naming names. But I'll name names later in the comments. So it's one of those things I struggle with in the hobby, but I will say I could vouch for Cheyenne. Like, he's got solid advice. He's got solid setups. Like, the proof is in the pudding. Like, you're breeding all of your stuff.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
And you get it in and breed it. Like, you're not just flipping pods. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like there's a little bit more, there's a lot more involved in breeding it yourself than there is in just getting in a collection and being like, here's yours, here's yours, here's yours.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely people out there that, I see them hit the different places. Hey, I'm looking for, bulk in this, and then they flip them, in fact, I've actually been more than once approached myself by, different companies that were wanting me to breed for them so they could flip them, and it's just not my jam. It's not, I like to do the breeding part of it, and when I have extra cultures, then that's when I have them available for people.
Now, speaking of, so we got some advice on Expansus. The white Expansus love watermelon.
Say what?
So that might be a cool
jamming.
That's from Ben's Bugs.
Nice.
Thanks for joining us. He'll be our Cheyenne subscriber. So far, every video I've had, we've got one new subscriber. And then throughout the week, we'll get more, but like one new subscriber the night of. Hopefully that's Ben's Bugs, unless he's...
We're building an army.
Yes, slowly but surely. So by episode 100, I will have 106 followers.
Nice.
Time in. So anyway, piggybacking on that question and talking about breeding, you, since I've known you, have grown your business and taken the leap. I think it was a couple months after we met, really, since I bought those clowns from you. You have started to just do Isopods full time. Like, has it been 6 months yet?
August is when I left, mid-August.
Okay, so it's getting there. It's going to be a year.
Yeah, we're coming up
8 months.
Year, bro.
It's about 8 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow. 10 months.
And obviously, you have enough money to renovate your she shed, so
doing all right.
You're doing okay. Now, my question for you is, how scary was that taking the jump?
Very.
If you've got family, like you've got one kid, right? You've got a wife and a kid?
Yep, wife and a kid. So was basically, I was a supervisor of steel fabrication shop and doing pretty well at that and making pretty decent money. But I started doing things on the side with doing isopods and millipedes and so on and so forth. And I was making decent money at it. And we came up on another school year with COVID. And
oh, yeah, God.
Yeah, so it was going to be full-time internet school for my daughter, and the schedule was just not going to work with my night shift job, working until 4 a.m. and, trying to be, involved with trying to help her with school. I mean, my wife does a lot of the school stuff, but with me having the schedule that I did, I mean, there was no way, like, for all of our schedules to work. I mean, there was
Right.
just there was no way. So
That was
like,
such a disruption. It's still such a disruption to so many families.
oh, for sure, So I was like, well, this is what we can do, and I started saving money, saved up like almost $4,000 off of bug cells, and took the leap, and then I ended up cashing out my 401k, paying off most of my bills. So my life overhead was, is fairly low, so I can afford to, have a little bit, less money coming in, and it's not too crazy. But I get to eat dinner with my family every night. I get to get my kid going on her internet COVID school every day. It's
You
pretty
can't put
sweet.
a price on that. You know, you
Yeah,
can't.
absolutely. I've never been able to just see my family every evening, and watch sitcoms or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
my whole family life, it's been dad's at work all night, throughout the week, and I'm here on the weekends, So it's
I've
different.
noticed. I've noticed the folks that have taken the leap into just doing this full time as their main gig. Like they're just generally happier people. Like you can tell they're
Yeah,
contented.
for sure. I mean, it's definitely stressful. I mean, it's not for everybody. I mean, it's very hit and miss. I mean, there's weeks where I make $1,500 in a week, but then there's other
Yeah,
weeks where I make like $200, and I'm not
my
going to make
buddy.
bills this week. So I mean, it's definitely a lot of saving money, and when you got a good week, don't go blow it on you know beers at the bar and dinners out. You know what I mean? It's like,
PS5. Yeah.
yeah, like when I have a good week, like put the money away, because next week might not be as awesome.
Yeah,
So,
because it's feast or famine. It's
oh,
just
it really is, and it seems like every venture I've done that I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a hit. Yeah, it doesn't always work out that way. It's like,
I hear you.
you know, you buy a $350 culture of isopods, and you're like, yeah, this is gonna make me so much money. Awesome, I'm gonna be able to feed my family for months off of this, and then
Yeah.
they take 8 months to put out their first mankai, and you're like, oh, and you watch the price drop on them, and you're like, oh, that was a
Right.
horrible idea.
That's
But
the
I
thing.
mean,
It's like that reptile hobby when you get that new morph and you start,
oh,
or you see a
absolutely.
guy with a new morph and he starts selling it and it's going for huge money. And
Hmm.
then by the time you get into it, there's 5 other guys selling it and breeding it
Yeah.
for
Oh,
huge money.
absolutely.
So the price has to come
Well,
down.
like I watch Brian Barkcheck, and like he'll be like talking about some crazy ball python morph or whatever that
Yeah.
a decade ago he spent $70,000 on because it was the world's first, and now they're like $150, a pop, and everybody is spitting them out. And it's like, it's crazy stuff like that. It's like we'll get a new isopod that makes it into the United States, and it goes crazy on everybody wanting it, and but then somebody figures out how to propagate them well, what's working or what have you, and then you watch the price dwindle, and you're like, oh, that was $1,000 last week.
If somebody can unlock pill millipedes, they're going to be a
Right? Oh,
millionaire.
dude, for sure.
Millionaire. Like that's a license to print cash. So picture what are they about this big, right? The big green
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, the big ones. Yeah,
Yeah. So picture a roly poly like this, but it's
yeah,
legitimately a centipede or
yeah.
a millipede.
Millipede.
Sorry, centipedes
See,
suck.
see, that's one that I'm thinking is potentially something like the isopods I was speaking about earlier, that need to ingest their parents' schmutz, and lack for
Yeah,
better words, in order to get that gut.
the poopies for the
Yeah,
kids on the channel.
to get the
The
gut flora
poopies.
on us. But I think that's something that may be going on with those guys, to where like they need a very seasoned culture, basically, to be able to work.
Yeah,
But you know, if we can't culture them, period, it's like, how do you have a seasoned culture that's got enough you know.
Yeah, they're thinking from all the information I've heard is that it's something dietary that they're not getting, like
Yeah,
something for
yeah,
their gut load that isn't
right.
there, that we can't
Yep,
provide yet.
yep,
So if you see pill millipedes online for sale, don't buy them because they're just going to starve to death. It'll just take them a couple
yep,
months,
yep.
but they're going to starve to death. And you're going to pay out the nose for basically DOA. They're basically dead men walking.
Yeah.
So we haven't figured it out yet, but we will. So taking the plunge to a full-time isopod guy, uh, not only is that scary, but like starting it off, did you just take the leap, or were you? How long was the planning phase? I guess is the question.
I had been doing things for quite a few months. You know, just doing it as a side thing, and then like it kind of like everything kind of fell in all at the same time. Basically, like the schedule thing was going to be kooky crazy for everybody if I didn't figure out something different, you know. And my buddy that I was talking about earlier was wanting to get rid of his, you know, his whole collection. So, and he offered me that at a price that I couldn't refuse, you know. So it
Yeah.
was like, okay, so I got a bunch of money in the bank I've been saving up from my side thing. I got an opportunity to buy a whole bunch more and like gain like 15 new species that I didn't have, you know, previously. Um, and, you know, and the schedule thing was just like, okay, like bing, 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 you know, it's like, it just made sense, you know. So it was kind of a no-brainer, I guess, at the moment. But it's definitely, I mean, like trying to make it through winter was pretty rough for sure. Like shipping in the winter, shipping in the summertime, the dead of summertime.
Yeah,
It,
for sure.
it's not easy. I mean, I've shipped out over 800 live orders now, and as of right now, I have a pretty good score of only 14 DOAs and
Okay.
over 800 packages. So I'm getting it down pretty good. But
14 out of 800. I hear that people spend so much money on heat packs and cryo packs that it's
oh,
just.
dude, heat packs and cryo packs, and like, you know, there's definitely times where like you're barely breaking even. You know, like in the wintertime, a couple of times it was like, oh, cool, I just made $5 off that. You know,
Yeah, for
but
something that's like a
yeah,
mid-range isopod. Like
right,
I can't imagine what you would make on dairy cows. Like,
right. You
but
know,
people are still charging good money for dairy cows, and it's like, bro, what's the deal?
everybody has those.
I know. I want to start selling them because I have. Well, I just sold off or I traded off like 700,
Oh, nice.
and I need to start selling them because they're. I mean, that's just cash on hand, basically. They make. I mean, you're not going to make a fortune, but
Yeah,
you
that's
can perpetuate your hobby. You know,
yeah,
like you.
exactly. And that's really ultimately that's how I started things, was just doing it as a side thing in order to, you know, pay for me and my daughter's hobbies with herp stuff and you know, furthermore on isopods and whatnot. But yeah, it
Yeah.
just kind of, you know, morphed into what it needed to be at the time. I
And
mean,
now I learned in 7th grade science class that once you get herpes, like that's for life. So
that was about seventh grade. We got the talk, right? Something like
yeah,
that.
you get like the flare ups during like the next Saturday. I'll get a flare up at NARBC.
Nice.
I'm planning to stay safe.
Classy.
So classy, so classy. Do you guys have any big shows by you coming up or no?
What's that?
Do you guys have any big shows by you coming up?
My band?
No,
Or,
no, the like reptile swap type of thing.
you gotta specify.
Sorry, man. We'll talk about your band in a different show.
We have actually in August, we got a big herp show coming up, but I'm gonna have to miss it because my cousin has a wedding the same day, of course. I'm like, no,
Stupid
no,
cousins.
no, no. But yeah, we just actually finally had our first exotic pet show since COVID. What was it, back in April? Like that was our very first one here in Oregon, and it was like locked down like crazy. Like everybody's, you know, if anybody's seen even touching their mask, it was like what are you doing?
Wow.
It was because there was, setting the bar, setting the example of, if we want to continue to do this during COVID time, like we have to, make
Take
sure
it really serious.
Yeah, take it very seriously to where, if the wrong person coming in isn't going to be like, oh, I see people without masks on, and I see people with, whatever, not social distancing or what have you. And here in Oregon, it's been pretty, pretty tight on the masks, and we just
West Coast. Yeah, West Coast has been really tight.
Yeah, we just finally got put down on a low risk level last Wednesday.
Bravo.
Yeah, so
we just opened back up on the 11th, and then this is the first week I don't have to wear a mask at work because I'm vaccinated. So my coworkers, however, did not take the leap yet, even though we work inside a grocery store where we work for a bank, but it's inside a grocery store, and their pharmacy is basically you can walk in and get a shot at any time, basically. And I'm like, what? You guys can do this on your lunch break. Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I will say that second shot puts you down. Like if you're getting Pfizer, that second shot, I thought I was going to die. Yeah. So that's not an exaggeration at all.
Plans.
Yeah, I was like, this is how I go out with a vaccine. Like I can't go out like this.
Right.
No one I know will get vaccinated. It's not going to happen. I got to live, or I got to turn the gas on the stove and go out that way instead.
It was an accident.
It was a stove accident, freak, not vaccine related. Just for the good of society. That's how I'd have to go out. Well, that was really informative. Do you have anything else you want to show us before we sign out?
Like bug-wise or?
Yeah, bug-wise, not like or your nips or something.
Dude, I got this tattoo. I don't think so. I don't have anything, right here. I was wanting to show you those officinalis, but yeah,
they're not showing up. Of course,
dude, they're burrowers, so it's like trying to find the one looks really cool, burrowed in the dirt. It's like, yeah. I don't want to tear the whole place apart looking for that one coolest dude.
Right, and then interrupt everybody else's life. Like, sorry guys.
Yeah, I'm only looking for one.
Did you separate them out? You separated the bumpies out already, or no?
So there's probably about 20 of them in there now, at different, sizes of little bumpies, and I'm calling them Officinalis stegosaurus, just so everybody knows.
I can't trademark that. You took it from me this week.
Stegosaurus.
You're calling dibs. Oh,
yeah,
man.
On Stegosaurus. Yeah, there's a perfect 2 rows of little odd little deals, and like I say, I got about 20 of them in the culture that have developed that for whatever reason. I don't know if it's diet or what have you, but it's keeps on doing. I keep having mankai that have a similar coloration, and then as soon as they get a little bit bigger, they start forming the little spikes. So I haven't completely separated them out yet because I'm not sure which ones are throwing this particular gene. It could be one that's not visual that's throwing out the gene, and
right
going on. So I'm just kind of jamming them and letting them do their thing, and for a little while, and then I'll separate them out when
You're so much more patient than me. I see a new little, a slight variation. I'm like, oh, you're going in your own bin.
Oh yeah, you're doing your own thing.
Yeah, you're getting labeled. You're getting put in the book. The whole thing's happening. I freak out.
First one.
Yeah, am I gonna make a fortune? I gotta come up with a name. I gotta do all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, does anybody have any questions in the audience right now for us?
See what we got
before we go.
I'm gonna swap over to the chat and see what we got
here. Morris just said he popped over from Wally's show. So see, we were totally competing with Wally. So, I mean,
thanks, man. Thanks for the moment.
Yeah. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna do that? We can't compete with Wally. So,
Wally, if you watch this later,
he's only competing with us with a live stream. So,
nice.
That's my deal, bro. Dang it, Wally. You want to throw down, Wally? I'll throw down the gauntlet right here. I got you, dog.
I've got my goblet of soda. Oh, man.
I've got to get one of those for sure. So I don't see any questions as usual. I always thought the Q&A would happen, but it hasn't yet. So don't feel bad.
Aww.
Do you have anything closing besides the sad trombone? Do you have anything for us in closing? Words of advice?
Spay and neuter your animals.
Nice.
Going back to the Bob Barker there. I don't know, man. Like, stay metal, stay brutal.
That's good advice. That's good advice for everyone. Stay metal. Yeah. I like that's very essential.
Right. Now,
especially
I don't know. I guess you know, do what makes you happy. You know, like I'm having a good time doing this. I mean, obviously, I might not do this forever. You know, it's working now, but you know, I've enjoyed it. I've been able to do a lot of things that I wasn't able to do previous to this. You know, spend a lot more time with my family, and so I'm definitely in a happier place. You know, so if you got something that makes you happy, jam it. You know, do the dang thing and see what happens.
Yeah, figure out how to make it your full-time jam.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work out, I can always go back to welding.
Yeah, that's true. That's a lifelong skill. Like that's not going anywhere.
Right.
So that's awesome, man. That's good advice. That's like life advice. That's not even isopod advice.
I still have one wisdom tooth. That's a little pun to Benjamin.
Well, I think we just used it. So mine never came in. Never had to deal with it.
Oh, shuckins.
So yeah, after taking x-rays, they're like coming in sideways and they're jammed up against the back molar. So if I ever get that molar taken out, that's a problem. But they haven't popped out. So that's why I have no wisdom whatsoever. Oh, someday. So hey man, thanks for coming on. I had a blast.
Really, it's been a blast.
So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said cheers.
Cheers, mate. Enjoy your orange soda. Cheers.
My bucket, bro. Here, let's get a full on cheers here.
Tropical drink for the win. There we go. All right, mate. Have a great night.
Later, man.
All right, all you cats and kittens. If you haven't already hit like and subscribe, please do. So I need to hit 85 subs or I'll cry. That's really all I have for you. So next week, we are going to have our Father's Day extravaganza. We're going to celebrate Father's Day with Ophi's Spider-Verse. So Ophi, I believe, is 9 years old, and she does tarantulas and is hugely intelligent about it. Like, she does spiders. She does millipedes. She's got, I think, whip scorpions. I don't know. We're going to find out what she's got. But for a 9-year-old, it's an impressive collection, and Dad is super supportive. Dad Rick is super supportive. So join us next week for that. It is also the 21st is also my 1-year podiversary. So we're going to mention that in passing, but I already did. So it won't be a big deal. But I'm getting my second set of clowns for the podiversary because clowns are my bane. That is the one species I cannot get to breed or even really survive for that long. I don't know why. Everything else I have is breeding like wildfire. Anyway, that's enough about us. Like, subscribe, share it, tell your friends, or just enjoy the videos. Go through our backlog. We have some great videos that have very few views, and it's shocking to me. So go through the ones that haven't been viewed that much and check them out. They're good things. And I will talk to you later. We'll see you next Tuesday, hopefully. Thanks for joining us. And we're almost